On here. My Facebook Live is going live on Facebook and on Instagram, so either one of those sources. Well, let's get started. Get it adjusted here. How's everybody doing out there this evening? Okay, let's talk success. Now, I'm going to forewarn you, I do have a list. So success is one of those words that's probably a little bit more difficult for me to enunciate. So if I lisp up a little bit, you're just going to have to work with me, just bear with me. And I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for that right now. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can talk about when you discuss success, right? And I think that's kind of like what drove me to want to, for the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about the topic for this Sunday, and it's one of the reasons why I picked it. And so I'm going to start out first with what the dictionary defines as success. I think I think you can ask a lot of people what success is. You have motivational speakers will talk about it, self-help books will talk about it, leadership books will talk about it, and I'm just going to use a basic definition, kind of like a Webster's dictionary of success, and it says that success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. And it gives an analogy. So the president had success in restoring confidence, or some success. That's not mine. I'm not talking about this current president or previous president. Just bear with me. The president had success restoring confidence. So success is being that it's an accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. The president had a purpose of restoring confidence, and then boom. Again, that's not my definition. That's Webster's for the little sentence. Another definition is the attainment of popularity or profit. So, like, say somebody had a movie. So, the success of a movie would be they had the movie was popular, or the movie made profit. Or the third definition is a person or thing that achieves desired aims or attains prosperity. Right. So, a business, for instance, would be a thing that a desired aim of a business would be to earn money. So that could be defined as success. Right. And so when you talk about accomplishment, achievement, attainment, so these are all words that a dictionary, or if you Google online, success is going to give you, right? There's one of those kind of deals, and that's really nice. I think those are pretty good ones. But what I want to talk about today is inside success and outside success, being what's inside, what's outside. There's a saying that says, "Don't judge your inside by somebody else's outside." And for me, what made me really start thinking about it is social media, right? So social media has this way of giving us snapshots into people's lives. And I follow, like on Instagram, for instance, I follow a couple really cool deals. I follow like billions or millionaires or one of those different type deals, because it shows like yachts and islands and cars, and I just think they're kind of cool. I think they're kind of fun to look at. I look at things, nothing that I guess I'm currently have a goal written down for a yacht or an island, but I think they're fun to look at. And I think it kind of sets it kind of like this false pretense sometimes of what's really out there. One of the things that really got me thinking about it was, I was watching this guy, and it was one of those, it was Instagram Live, I think is where I was watching it, and the guy was talking all this stuff about success and his products and his business. But then I started looking at the background of where he was. I started looking at different things that he was saying, did some research, and found out it was all pretend. This is like a pretend deal. And I think, with social media, it's given us the ability to be the director of our own lives. You know what I'm saying? Social media, we can, if we want to be happy, we can post a fun, happy picture of ourselves. That might be not really what we're feeling inside, but we can post a happy picture and a happy comment, and from the outside world, everybody thinks we're happy, right? If we're sad and we want everyone to be sad with us, then we can post a sad picture, or we can post a sad quote. We can post something that's going to draw empathy or sympathy and get people commenting and reaching out to us and kind of feel that need of significance for that need of sadness that we're having right there. If we want drama, we can post a passive-aggressive statement that really doesn't say who we're mad at. We're mad at somebody. And that'll gain a lot of people wanting to jump in and get all excited and find out what's going on. And then I think that also goes with success, right? Success, we can post whatever we want about success. I could post a picture of my laptop with a cup of coffee next to it, which I've done before, and post about knocking out deals, hammering away business, closing houses, and that's going to give an appearance of success. I could take a picture in front of one of my cars and be like, look at me rolling deep, and say success, showing off a suit, there's all these snapshots that we can do in our life, and I've seen those, right? You'll see these snapshots of, and I see that in the social media world, and so I'm interested, and then I go and investigate. I want to find out more about what this person's doing and their success in their life, and you find out that they're the director of our own life. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, so please bear with me a little bit here. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to produce those kind of things or to say those kind of things or show those kind of things, to show those sides of success. What my hope is that somebody is not fooling themselves, right? Talk about inside success and exterior success, right? I think they'll say fake it till you make it, and I think that works in some cases. I think where I get sad is if you're faking it into your inside as well. I'm not a person for debt. I don't like debt. I don't believe in debt. I think debt makes you a slave to the debtor. The person who owns the debt, you're a slave to them. So, I don't believe that success is going out and financing a very expensive car so you can drive an expensive car and have the appearance of success. I don't think success is, stretch money. Stretch money, in the real estate world, we call stretch money someone who purchases a luxury house, though they should not be purchasing a luxury house, but they're stretching their money out to purchase a house they really shouldn't be in. They can make a much better financial decision if they would purchase one that's, going to allow them to move up, right? And so with social media, we have the ability to display success. And I think sometimes we can have that appearance and people I talk to, I'll be coaching with somebody or talking with somebody and they'll tell me like, oh yeah, with so-and-so, they're doing so well. And I don't say this to be judgmental, I just ask them, well, how do you know? And they're like, oh, well, they posted this, and they posted that, and they said this, and they said that. And I'm like, okay, so that's great. They're utilizing social media as a tool to try to grow their business. But have you looked? Like, what do you mean? It's like, well, have you pulled the actual numbers? Or is success there? I'm like, man, I don't know. Success sometimes we'll judge somebody, we'll think somebody isn't successful because of what we don't see. Gary Keller told a great story, one of our mastermind groups, about he was building a home, having his house built, and he said he was talking about he was out to, meeting with his group of friends, his financial friends, and he was telling about this house he's having built, and one of them said, Gary, are you sure you should be spending money like this on this house? And Gary just said, no, you're fine. And Gary went on to tell us, he said, what I didn't tell them was the house that I was building, if they were concerned that I was spending too much money on, I actually paid cash for the whole thing. In fact, what they didn't know is my net worth was, I want to say he said it was a combination of all of them, right? And so among some people, among the wealthy, maybe they don't know how wealthy Gary is. Gary shares with us that he lives on 1% of his income. 1% of his income. To me, that's fascinating. To me, that's success, right? So sometimes we'll judge somebody's success by what we see on their outside, or sometimes we'll judge what their success is or not successful because of what we don't see on the outside. Maybe we don't see it on social media. Maybe we don't see the fancy cars and the Rolex watches and the suits, and we'll assume not successful, right? But that's not really success. Tony Robbins, talks about success leaves clues. And I'm going to quote him. He says, long ago, I realized that success leaves clues and that people who produce outstanding results do specific things to create those results. And what he's saying is success leaves clues, not posts of pictures and comments and quotes pictures of a book I'm reading on Facebook, or a picture of a nice car, a picture of a great dinner, you know, a quote of I just closed this deal, or I just, you know, made this accomplishment, or I just achieved this, I got this award or this plaque. You know, success is going to leave clues. He goes on to say, I believe that if I precisely duplicated the actions of others, I could reproduce the same quality of results that they had. Right? So what he's saying is, success no longer leaves clues, but they leave clues that other people are going to be able to follow. Right? So when you're looking at success and your own success, can you look back and see systems and processes that could be duplicated by others for success? That's going to show you that you're moving forward. Go back to the definition: accomplishment, attainment, achieves. Right? The accomplishment or aim of a purpose, the attainment of popularity or profit, a person or thing that achieves desired aims and attains prosperity. Right. So I'm going to use a great example that one of the personal heroes of mine since I was a kid. Right. He's been a hero since I was probably too young to be watching his movies. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. As a young boy, who did not like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s, right? He was Commando, he was Conan the Barbarian, he was the Terminator, he was, oh my goodness, he was the guy, right? He fought the Predator and he won. He was like bigger than life. And so I was always a huge fan of his. And if you didn't know, you know, if you don't study his life and you just kind of see what's put out there, you wouldn't know some certain things about his success. For example, most people don't know that before Arnold Schwarzenegger made his first big movie, which was Conan the Barbarian, 1982, he was already a multimillionaire, right? So even before he made his very first movie, live, he was already a multimillionaire, right? For Conan the Barbarian. And how did he make his money? He didn't make it when he was like, oh, he was Mr. Olympia. No. When you win Mr. Olympia, you win a bodybuilding contest, they don't give you millions of dollars, right? Prize money is not real huge. But what he did is he took all the money that he made doing this mail order business that he had back then, training, and what he did win from the competition, the little money they had, and he invested it in real estate. Right? He started investing in real estate, and he said that the reason he did that is because he saw other actors. When he started doing little bit parts, he started noticing other actors were controlled by the movies and parts that they could pick because they needed the money. And he thought, I'm never going to put myself in that position. And so what did he do? He went out and he took what money he has and he started investing it, and he became a multimillionaire. And some people would have just stopped, right? If the goal was to become an actor to make millions of dollars, well then he didn't even need to become an actor because he was already a multimillionaire through investing in real estate over a 10-year period of time. Starting in the early 1970s to the 1980s, that's where he produced his millions of dollars in investments, right? So here's this young Austrian guy working at a gym, and now he's a multimillionaire, but he still pursued becoming an actor, and then from there he goes on. Some people don't know that you look at all his movies, his most successful, financially successful movie he ever made was the movie Twins. And he did that because he negotiated a deal to do the movie for free, but he would make a % of the profit of what it made, because nobody, at the time, he had just made macho, fight and rock and sock and robot type movies, and nobody wanted to see Arnold Schwarzenegger in a comedy. And so he went to a director that he had worked with, convinced him to, hey, let's do this together, and then they went to, I want to say it was Universal Studios, and said, hey, we want to make this movie. It was the director, Danny DeVito, and Arnold Schwarzenegger went to the Universal producer and said, we don't want any money. Don't pay us. We want to make 37%. I think they negotiated, the three of them would split, however they split it, 37.9% of the profits of Twins. And Universal thought, well, this is great. I'm going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's this huge action star. He's a comedy, so probably won't do real well. He's not really that funny guy. He's got thick accent. Even though his movies were doing really well, he was an action guy. So they said, sure. The movie ended up netting, I think it was netting somewhere around $229 million. So whatever the percentage was, the three of them split roughly $82 million, I think is what the math was, however they split it. So he made money, he was profitable in that regards. And then he went on, obviously, became the governor of the largest state in California. So when you look at like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a success person, here was this young guy from some obscure town in Austria who through bodybuilding became one of the #1 bodybuilders. So you talk about drive, success, and he set all these different goals to achieve all these different things, to include coming to the U.S. to train and compete. He trains and competes. He decides he wants to be financially free so he can pursue the movies, because that's what his dream was. His dream and goal in life was to be an actor. So he becomes a multimillionaire to achieve his next goal, which is to become a movie star. Oh, and get this, Arnold never auditioned, right? So talking about, he never auditioned for a part. Arnold, he said he created his own niche market, his own niche for what he did. So he never auditioned, right? You would think that, and all these other actors out there are doing who knows what to become famous. This guy, a bodybuilder, becomes financially successful, multi-millionaire, and then never auditions for a movie. Just gets the parts that he wants. And then from there, he goes on to be the governor of the largest state in the United States for, I think, at least 2 terms. I think he was governor for, I don't know. I know it's like 8 or 9 years. I don't know the specifics of it, right? And now he's just doing what he wants. So success leaves clues. If you look at his life, and this is why I study, you can see the different things that he did. So this is what I wanted to, I guess all this, and maybe I'm rambling a little bit today. Maybe I'm a little too excited about, or maybe I don't have a clear enough grip on it. And I don't think you ever can, on what success is. But I'll tell you, for me, and this is not saying like I'm hugely successful or that you think I should be, or I'm trying to say that I am. What I will say is I'm continually pursuing success. And I say that because I set a goal, I work towards that goal. When I achieve that goal, I celebrate for half a minute, and then I move on to the next goal. I think it was Bill Belichick, who just, football coach, I'm not a sports guy, but, they just won the thing. They said, now what? He goes, now we start planning for next season. And I said, aren't you going to celebrate? You just got another Super Bowl ring. He goes, we'll celebrate tonight. Tomorrow we start planning for next season, right? Success. Success is an attainment and achievement. We're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger and actors. It's like, why do you think so many actors are so depressed? Because they think that success to them was becoming a famous movie star, right? So they get famous and they realize there was no success there, right? They don't feel successful. They don't feel like they've attained or achieved anything. So then they think, well, maybe I need a big house because that's what I want to achieve, and they don't. You see that in the business world. People will seek after things because they think that's what they want. Grant Cardone talks about 10X, that he, or the 10X rule. He talks about, 10Xing your business. Well, then he goes on to his next book and Be Obsessed, and he talks about all these letters he got from people who were talking about 10Xing their business and realized, holy crap, they're losing their marriage because they 10X their business and forgot to 10X their marriage, or they pick and choose different things and they're unhappy. Why do you think you keep hearing about, like, and I'm going to go back to actors and actresses because everyone can relate to them, and I'm starting out using social media as a topic, is people see them and they believe that there's this massive, they've achieved what they want in life, and yet they're ODing and drugging and dying and killing themselves. Literally killing themselves because they're unhappy. Because they didn't really set goals. They wanted to do something, maybe achieve something, but then when they achieved it, they didn't set another goal for themselves. They didn't move forward. And then you have actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, who I think every time he's in a movie, he wins an Oscar or wins some kind of award, right? Because he sets certain goals, and you read about how he prepares for a role. And when you go, this is what I guess I'm putting out there today for everybody, right? Achievement and success, right? Success is achievement, okay? Success is not a Rolex watch. Success is not a nice car. A big house is not success. A lot of money in the bank is not success. Nice clothes are not success. Those are the byproducts of success. Those are the fruits of success. That I do believe, right? Being debt-free is a byproduct of success. Any car is a byproduct of success. In all truthfulness, when Tara and I got our first car, we felt successful. When we paid off our first car, we felt successful, right? When we paid off our house, that was when we bought it, was a goal achieved, success. We have a house. When we paid the house off, Boom, hit another goal, success. So then we set new goals. Now we're investing in properties. And when we purchase a new property and it cash flows, success. When we pay off a property, success. So everything builds towards building this towards success. You know, so set a goal, achieve it, success, set a new goal. That's how you continue to have success in your life. I'll tell you one of my favorite, and you probably saw it on Instagram or Facebook or social media. I'll tell you one of my favorite pictures I've ever seen on social media, and it's the picture of somebody in a car, and they have like a little piece of paper. It has the Mercedes emblem driven on it, and it's sitting on their steering wheel, and then they're wearing like a paper around their wrist, and it says Rolex, and I actually have a Starbucks cup, but I'm gonna take a drink. But they have a Starbucks cup, paper cup of coffee, and it just says Starbucks on the side of it, and they're holding it. So paper says Starbucks, fake watch, paper watch says Rolex, thing that says thing, and it says, talks about dreams or goals. And I'll tell you, I don't know who the original person who posted that was. And chances are the original person who posted it may have even been making a joke. I don't know. But it is my all-time favorite goal picture on Instagram because it's authentic. If the person who did this with the mindset of one day I'm going to achieve a level of success that I'm going to be driving a Mercedes, wearing a Rolex watch, and drinking Starbucks coffee, then that person just set goals, right? They set a byproduct goal of success. They are going to achieve a certain thing, and when they achieve it, they'll have success, right? I believe that to achieve a life that is good on the inside and not just one that looks good on the outside, right? Success is when, in the pursuit of success, in the pursuit of your goal, you're feeling good. And that doesn't mean it's not hard, right? Like I said, I'm not a sports guy per se. I don't keep up with all the stats, but I'll tell you, one of my favorite athletes that I'm most impressed with is Michael Jordan. And not because of basketball. I'm impressed with Michael Jordan because of his baseball career. And some of you who are sports people right now probably just tune me out, or you're going to send me hate mail. But here's the thing. This is why I love Michael Jordan in baseball. I read this article about another player, and somebody talked about, said something about Michael Jordan as a player, about how, are you offended that he didn't have to go up the ranks like you did to get to Major League Baseball. And he said, when I get to the batting cages in the morning, and I get there pretty early, Michael's already there. He goes, and at the end of the day, when I'm leaving, Michael's still there. He goes, I've actually seen Michael walk out of the batting cages with blood dripping from his hands because of how much he swings the bat. And they talked about, and he went on, and at the end of it, the reporter was just shocked because he talked about, here's a guy who is just driven, right? And I thought to myself, that's why he became so good at basketball, because of that drive, that relentless pursuit. And when I read that, I was like, this is a guy who's going to be successful. This is why he's successful. This is why he's driven. And I found that fascinating. And then if everybody knows Space Jam, how we got back into baseball, right? So anyway. So talking about, and I only got a few more minutes, I was only going to be this 30 minutes today, finishing up about this conversation on success, let me just go back one more and repeat. You've heard it before, don't judge your inside by somebody else's outside. I'm not sure who the original person who said it, they say it at Life Church all the time, but don't judge your behind the scenes by somebody's highlight reel. Don't assume success or don't see what somebody sees on the outside. I know and I'm in reference to Gary Keller again. He talks about how there are people on stage at our events who there are people in the audience who financially are much more successful in their real estate business, have a much better control of their finances than some of the people on the stage. And what he was referencing is, just because somebody sells 1,000 homes, don't assume that they're running a successful business. And that was like, Terry and I heard that about 3 years ago, and it was like, boom. And it made us go back and think, okay, we need to fix this. We need to make sure that our business, not that we need to fix something, but we need to really look at what we're doing and ensure that we're just, success isn't because we have a lot of units on the board, or success isn't that we close a lot of houses, or success because we have a lot of active listings and a lot under contract, we've closed a lot. Success is the byproduct of it. So to us now, success has changed. You know, for us, success is creating a world so big that other people can come into the world and find opportunities. For us, success is when we get to bring an agent onto our team and help them achieve their financial goals and their relationship goals, right? For us, success is seeing marriages grow, marriages stay strong. You know, for me, success is, you know, getting ready to celebrate my 23rd wedding anniversary. Success is seeing my youngest daughter happily married. Success is seeing my other daughter just grow into some, and my oldest daughter grow into this amazing person, right? And my success is seeing them launched, you know, being great adults. Success is today sitting at home and eating some popcorn and chips and reading with my wife, and us going back and forth on the books we're reading. Success is getting to church at 8:30 in the morning because we like to get to the early service. So we have our whole day and filling up a row and a half with with friends and family that are joining us. You know, that to me, that's success. Success is, and I can go on, but it's these goals that we've set in the achievement. And success is going to be hitting our real estate goal of selling 600 houses over 3 million GCI and running a 35 to 40% profit margin. To us, those are goals that we set. Success is launching a property management company that's with my son-in-law. That's he's created this great career and he's growing it up. Success is going to be to get to over 100 doors in the first 90 days of being in business, and 300 by the end of the year. And success is helping those people who list with us, who let us work their properties and make money and achieve success in getting their properties listed out. So these are all of our goals that we're setting for success. So here's the thing, and I'm going to stop here with not homework, but here's my goal for you. Take a look at your life. Success leaves clues, right? What are your successes? If you know what they are, fantastic. You can skip to the second part two. Right? But part one in success is this. Take a look at your successes. And I mean, give yourself a roadmap. Look at where you're at. Right? And you can say, well, some of you might say, well, I'm nowhere good right now. BS. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on Facebook Live, but BS. Right? You are someplace great right now. Wherever you're at, you're here. If you're watching this, if you've watched this, if you're live with us, if you're watching this later on, and you're hearing this, you're somewhere. Right? The only time failures are negative is when you fall backwards, but fail forward. Wherever you're at, you've successfully gotten to where you're at. In the book Kazan, I talked about this last week in one of my shorter videos. Everybody gets somewhere, but not everywhere gets somewhere on purpose, right? So wherever you're at right now, we're gonna figure out how you got where you're at. How did you fail there? Now, if you can take those deals, that's gonna be failing forward. If you're somewhere great, fantastic. You got a head start on some people. So wherever you're at in success in your life and where you've achieved, I want you to look back and start writing goals. What did you graduate high school? Did you not graduate high school? What did you do? What was the first job you had? How successful you were at your job? What did you learn at that job? Right? And kind of look at, but digging deeper, what are the goals that you've set? If you've never set goals, well, then today's your day. Because in order to have success, you have to have achievement or attainment of something. That's success. So, you can. One of the drills is to go 5 years out and back up. Right? If you've never set goals before, and say where you want to be in 5 years. Set your biggest. You can be anywhere you want to be in 5 years. Set your biggest dream goal possible. Boom. That's 5 years. How are you going to get there? Well, how are you going to get there? Go 4 years back, go 3 years back, go 2 years back, and keep going backwards on how you're going to get that. If your biggest goal in 5 years is to pay off your house and where you're going to, or pay off your debt, or pay off your bills, then where are you going to be in 4 years, where are you going to be in 3 years, where are you going to be in 2 years, where are you going to be in 1 year, and then 6 months, 12 months. But the thing is, where are you going to be at the end of this week? Today's Sunday. So at Friday, set a goal. Set a small goal. Where do you want to be Friday? All right? Where do you want to be at the end of May? Right? So today's the 30th, right? So tomorrow starts a new month. Set a goal. Where do you want to be at the end of next week? Where do you want to be at the end of the month? In business, in your personal, if you're married, where do you want to be in your marriage at the end of the month? Right? Your marriage may be fantastic. Great. Grow it to the next level. Your marriage may not be fantastic. Great. Grow it to a level. Right? Where do you want to be? Set a goal. And then when you achieve that goal, that is success. and then set another goal, and then another goal, and another goal, and another goal. If somebody says to me, "Are you successful?" I'll be like, "Yeah." I mean, what goals that I've achieved would you like to tell you about of why I feel successful, right? When you hit a wedding anniversary, that's success. When you have a birthday, that's success. Guess what? You lived another year, right? And people get upset because they're like, "Oh, I hate birthdays." Why? You made another year. The alternative is dying. So, success. What do you want to achieve? And then look at what other people, I went through Arnold Schwarzenegger earlier and talked about his life and what he's achieved. Right? Why did I study that? Because here this guy, he's successful. People might make fun of him, but this and the other. The dude's successful. He's achieved great things in life. Right? I'm sure when he was 10 years old in Austria, and nobody would have thought an Austrian boy was going to be governor of California one day. And there he is. Right? Some people might say, well, he's only, like I said, some people would assume, well, yeah, because he got a lucky break, he had big muscles, hit the movie theater at the right time, that's why he got famous and became a multimillionaire through his movies. No, he was a millionaire before that. Right? He could have taken his earnings, his winnings that he did as competitors and done anything with it. He could have blew it on fancy cars and big houses and everything. Instead, he invested it in real estate and started buying businesses in Santa Monica. Buying real estate in apartment buildings and upgrading his apartment buildings and buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling. And now he has this diverse portfolio, and he's in retirement, but he's doing what he wants to do. He can do a year of apprentice and say, you know what, this is not for me. There's too much negativity around this. I'm out. And he's not concerned about it because he can make those decisions. So, success is an attainment or an achievement of a goal. That's how I define it. I'd love to hear how you define it. And I'd love to hear some goals that you've set. So hopefully this has been beneficial to somebody out there. Every Sunday at 6, we're going to be talking about different things. I'd love to hear things that you'd like to see discussed. And if you were asking me questions, I got to apologize because I haven't quite figured out how to make sure I see those. So if you've been talking to me, my bad. I'll figure it out eventually. But thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic week, and tomorrow I'll be launching a video of another book review or a quote from a book I read. Talk to y'all later. Bye.